In the past, I've talked about Civitas Weed Free, where we brought a new product to the marketplace, using hybrid technology, using an emulsion, using less active ingredients, getting the efficacy as a traditional synthetic chemical, not having that harsh chemical smell. And the fact that we had a label that had no signal word on it, we started talking about the proponents of sustainability. And we've talked about sustainability here, and this is sustainability in terms of the definition of sustainability, in terms of where those three concentric circles come together, where you're managing or bringing products together that mold together people, profit, and the planet together. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to bring a product out there that is going to not work as well, you're not going to make as much money on, or it doesn't necessarily isn't good for the environment. It's where all those things come together, and we talk about sustainability. But the question has always been, how do you actually measure sustainability? Okay. So there's certain things that you can talk about. So, if you're irrigating and you're going to measure sustainability, you could maybe look at your run rates in terms of your irrigation heads. You can see how much less water is being used to get the same evapotranspiration in terms of your plants. If you're looking at fuel, you can look at your miles per gallon in terms of your fuel trucks. Or if you're using battery, you can just look at in terms of how much electricity you're actually using out there. But what do you do when it actually comes to chemicals? How do you measure sustainability? Now, it's a good thing if you start using less chemicals. That's always a good thing. But just because you're using less, does it still also mean that the chemical you're using is still sustainable? And that's really where the environmental impact quotient comes around. It's finally a measurement tool that allows applicators to go out there and actually look at products to determine whether or not they fit into the sustainability platform that allows them to go out there and do things differently, differentiate their business. Sustainability. What it does, it's done by the people at Cornell University who have been out there being on the forefront in terms of how to do more with less, with chemicals in agriculture, in golf course management, in lawn and landscape. And what they've done is that they've looked at all the individual products that go out there, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, insecticides, anything that's out there, they now put this through this filter to then determine, to come up with a number to determine whether or not the product that you're using leads to sustainability. And what they do is they look at three elements. Number one, in terms of worker safety. They see whether or not there's acute or chronic toxicity, that the product can actually have an impact on people, the workers, maybe the people who are exposed to it. So you look at what is the worker safety or even the people who are exposed to it. Consumer friendly, they look at what's the impact and potential, again, there's a little bit of agriculture here, but what's the impact on food residues? What can it actually mean in terms of leachability in the groundwater? More people are worried about groundwater. You look at all the work that's being done around the Chesapeake watershed. All those sorts of things. They're always looking at ways to reduce the amount of unwanted material going into the drinking water. And then finally, you look at the ecological impact. And you look at things like aquatic and maybe terrestrial, non-toxic toxicity. So what's the impact you're going to have on bees? What's the impact you're going to have on fish? What's the impact that the product will have if it runs off? And also, what's the potential persistence of the product in the marketplace? I mean, everyone talks about that this certain products, they basically biodegrade or they degrade in so many days. What's the half-life in terms of where you're going? And if you start looking at this, numbers are actually associated to each one of these products. And then it comes out, or the EIQ quotient allows you to spit out a number. And the lower the number, the better. Now, what's interesting is if you look at Civitas Weed Free brand, each one of those products, or each one of those elements is given a number, and then at the end you are given a field like EIQ in terms of once it gets placed on the product, what is the EIQ? And Civitas Weed Free comes out at about 6.4. And again, like I said, the lower the better. 0 is the best, but the lower the better. If you look at a traditional three-way mix, traditional three-way 2,4-D-dicamba-mecapod, you can actually get up into 28.5. So quite a bit lower. So we've always talked about our product uses such a percentage less of active ingredients. Well, that may be great, but now people are saying, well, prove it to me that it's sustainability. Well, now we've got a measurement tool that we can actually put through any pesticide, fungicide, insecticide, herbicide, rodenticide, anything you want to use, you can actually put this through. And what's interesting is that University of Cornell has this up on their website. You can go in there, you can look up a certain active ingredient or product, and it will show you the EIQ quotient. So now if you're an applicator and you're out there wanting to differentiate your business and you're saying that you are a sustainable, you're providing a sustainable future or a sustainable product offering, then people ask you, well, how can you prove that? Well, now you've got a methodology to do this. And this is actually something that's quite exciting. In golf course management, this gets used quite a bit. What's interesting is that you may actually have EIQ quotients for some products that they're heavily used products that are actually in the several hundreds. Can you imagine what those labels look like? Okay. It doesn't matter if you reduce the reduction of that product by 50% even, you're still using an EIQ quotient of several hundred. Anything that we can do as an industry to drive that EIQ quotient down in terms of our reliance on synthetic chemicals, anything that we can do to minimize the chronic and acute toxicity in terms of workers, consumers, fish, bees, that sort of thing, that's a good thing in terms of where we're going. And being very proactive at this, showing our customers, our industry, advocates, anyone else that uses these products or get exposed to them, it's actually a very good thing. So that's what we want to talk about today in terms of a very high-level overview in terms of EIQ quotient. This product or this methodology is something that we use at Intelligro. Every product that we want to create, we want to drive EIQ down. We want to bring it down as low as possible while still providing the efficacy that people are looking for. Without efficacy, this really doesn't matter. But if you have the efficacy and now you can show that you have a sustainable or an environmental impact quotient that's very low, that's a 1-2 punch that allows the industry to go out there and actually differentiate themselves.